Welcome back to the show, Capital Star TJ Oshie.
Yeah.
Oshie, good morning, sir.
Good morning. How we doing?
Good, man. Are you
Good.
aware, by the way, that this week it's 9 years ago from the shootout at the Sochi Olympics?
No, that kind of creeps up on me every year. I don't know the exact date. I just typically wait till people start posting on social media, and then I remember that's the day.
Well, it's interesting because, 9 years ago that, and then you became a Capital not long after. 8 years in D.C., I think, is the number now as a Cap?
Yep. It's I passed. I think last year in the season I passed the amount of games as a Capital that I was as a St. Louis Blue, which is kind of crazy to me. It's been a long ride.
Well, and also, too, man, congrats on adding another Oshie member to the family. One more, you have a full line of Oshies.
Yeah. We are definitely piling them on here at the Oshie house. Daughter's 3 weeks old now, little Lucy. She's been fantastic, and mom's doing great, and her older siblings are all in love with her. So we're all smiles here.
Well, how nice is it as a pro athlete? You never know where you're going to be, but to be able to raise a family in one spot for 8 years, how nice and rare is that to have?
It is very rare, I think, in professional sports, and I'm super fortunate and super lucky. Not only myself, but the kids and my wife as well. We're really close with the Backstroms. So our older 3 kids have all been basically in the same class all the way up. Now our older ones are all in 3rd grade. And then our middles are both in kindergarten, and our 2-year-olds are in the same 2-year-old preschool. So
That is
it's
so
pretty
fun.
cool to kind of have our kids grow up with their kids and have that kind of family bond. They're all best friends. So it really has been a treat, and I'm very fortunate to be in not only one place, but such a good place like Washington, D.C. here.
Well, I think you have a unique perspective. Obviously, as a pro athlete, you've made it to the highest level. There's a lot of push in youth sports, and I coach high school hockey at Georgetown Prep, but for having kids only do one activity, and it seems to be younger and younger and younger. As somebody who's made it to the pros, you played more than just one sport growing up. What can you kind of speak to that?
I think there's definitely, if a kid really only shows interest in one thing, I think that's that's fine. That could be good. They could also get burnt out from it. I'm a super big believer in if you do like sports, and that's something that the kid enjoys of being super athletic in all kind of facets. So, for example, I'm super comfortable taking and giving contact on the ice, and that's mostly because I grew up playing football. I got really good hand-eye coordination from playing basketball and lacrosse, as well as hockey, and then playing soccer growing up. I'm really comfortable when the puck comes in my skate, so that's from soccer. Played a little baseball growing up, and tennis and golf. So I played everything that basically was available to me, and I think that only helps me, in my career in hockey. And I'm really a big advocate for playing as many sports as you can. Not only that, but to get on different teams with different kids and more kids is super important. I think it was from my childhood growing up and learning how to interact with different kids, and you go through different hardships. Maybe your hockey team is great, but your basketball team is struggling. That's 2 different ways mentally to kind of grow and to learn how to deal with some things as a kid that maybe someone that doesn't play sports is able to do. So I still, last night I was shooting hoops in the Wizards practice court before the game.
Flex.
As
So
my little warm up. So that's I don't know. I love sports and love playing all of them, and I think it's very important to become a good athlete.
Talking to a Capital Star, TJ Oshie. What's the experience like now that your kids, the oldest is in 3rd grade, but having your kids come to a game to watch you play? Obviously you love playing the game, but does it mean so much more having little Oshies in the crowd watching?
Yeah, absolutely. I think before that, you're playing out there and you realize that the fans are watching, but what kind of drives you is that your teammates see what you're doing, and then what your coach sees what you're doing. Not only when you have the puck, but in all situations. And I think when you have kids and kids that are old enough to kind of watch the game and you know that they're watching you, you know, now I'm going to their sporting events and I want them to see me, you know, trying hard on defense, not only offense, or sticking up for my teammates, or not hanging my head when something doesn't go my way. So it is different having your own kids in the stands for sure. And also just that, you know, that just being a proud dad and wanting your kids to see that, you know, your dad was good at something at one point in his lifetime before they get too
right?
old. So.
Yeah, you know, decently, you know,
just casual.
Stanley Cup, silver medal, state championships, you know,
cool.
a couple of good things. Yeah, you've done fairly well for yourself, man. I think everything possible. Is there a show though, or a movie that your kids like that, like low key is fire as an adult? Yeah, okay, like that. That's pretty good.
Oh, gosh, a couple other shows are pretty tough for me to watch. I will say there is this, it's like called like Zombies or Zombies 2. Okay. I think a Zombies 3 might have just come out. I'm pretty sure that's what it's called. But anyways, their soundtrack that we listened to, right when I first heard it, I was like, oh my gosh, here we go. So I got two older girls, and then as we started playing a little bit, I'm like, holy cow, maybe I'll bring these in the locker room.
Hell yeah. Like that. Dude, all it takes is one win, and then it has to be the new regime, you know?
Yeah, exactly. But no, there's some movies we get into. I'm more of the old school Disney guy, so I try to get on Lion King and
yes,
Aladdin, and you know those movies, and you know they'll watch them once or twice. But my girls they want to watch like Goosebumps now, which is like the old school Goosebumps too, the TV show. Really cool.
So damn.
Do your kids watch Bluey? Stuff. Bluey is a fire show. Like I laugh.
Yeah, there's been a couple episodes of Bluey, but it hasn't caught yet. My little guy might get into Bluey as he gets a little older.
Well, then eventually I did Mighty Ducks and the whole gamut of the hockey films. Although Mighty Ducks, as an adult now, it's interesting that he was drunk driving, and his punishment was you're going to coach Pee Wee hockey, and that was only in Minnesota. Speaking of, did you get a chance to go to the Minnesota State Fair this past year?
I did not. We have been building a house for the last little while here, and so we will be into it this summer. And believe it or not, when I was up in the world, I never really went down to the cities. So I've only been to the State Fair one time in my life, and that was just a couple of years ago. So, but now that we have kids and we'll be in the city full time in the summer, we'll be making it every year.
Speaking of Warroad, I want to talk about the clothing brand. And for being a Minnesota kid myself, I think for people not from the state, Warroad is always an enigma from us city folk, where it's almost like you guys would come down to the state tournament and it'd be like the White Walkers showing up in Game of Thrones with like the bleach blonde hair, and just like you'd hear stories about basically Southern Canada, and you guys would just dominate every asset of the game. But you have a brand of performance wear tied to Warroad.
Yeah, I do. Thanks for bringing it up. It's basically a brand that's kind of rooted in hockey, very geared towards hockey fans, hockey families, hockey players, and we've got some really cool just hats, T-shirts, some really comfortable jackets, and then kind of my baby, what I really was into in designing was some stuff for our undergear with some cut-proof fabrics in areas where hockey players get cut with skates. You see a couple of the bad ones with, guys bleeding all over the ice. There's a lot that do happen that you don't really see. A guy gets cut and he just goes back in the tunnel. They sew him up and he comes back out. So got some cut-proof cut-resistant fabrics on some of the clothes, and I reached out to my buddies when we wanted to name the brand Warroad, and my high school teammates thought it was a great idea. Just that you kids skate for free in Warroad. No one pays for ice time, which is maybe why there's a bunch of good players that have come out of there and why we love the game so much. But so they wanted to give back, and so we've been doing that since the brand started, is giving back to the youth hockey and making sure the kids never have to pay for ice in Warroad.
Very, very cool. I got you two final questions, man. Date night in, what's the go-to delivery food we order?
Go-to delivery food. We're me and the wife are big Italian eaters, so we like a little pasta, a little steak. But we're pretty big like dessert people.
Hell yeah.
So sometimes if the restaurant doesn't have great dessert, we'll have to do like a double DoorDash or a double Uber Eats, and
Dude, hell yeah.
No shame in that game.
Yeah, we've all been there. We've all been there, dude.
Yes.
All right, this is the last one's the hardest one. You have to be buried in one black jersey: War Road, Nodak, or the Caps jersey. And why is it North Dakota?
Oh, well, there's something super special about the black jersey in North Dakota. We rarely took a loss in those, and when you wore the blacks, it was almost everyone knew when they got to the rink if the black jersey was hanging in your stall that it was go time, and you had to get down to business. So, gosh, super tough. But I will go with the North Dakota jersey just because when I wore it, there was a Sioux head on there, and now they're the Fighting Hawks. So if I can get my old Sioux head black jersey, I'll go down with that one.
Absolutely. TJ Oshie, the Capitals, man, always a pleasure. Congratulations on the next Oshie edition of the family, man. We appreciate your time, and best of luck the rest of the way.
Thank you so much. Have a good one. Thanks for having me on.